Stepping from our ordinary world into the fantastical, Immersive XP explores the weird and wonderful imaginations behind a diverse range of themed experiences. From virtual reality to escape rooms to live-action roleplay, nothing is off the table. We'll take a deep dive into what makes these adventures worth attending and which ones to avoid. Join me on a journey to explore the extraordinary and meet the people who make dreams a reality. Welcome back to another episode of Immersive XP. I'm Taylor Forge, your non-binary host based in Southern California. Seamstress by trade, silly little guy by trauma. Favorite genre? Science fiction. Fun fact of the week. The term cyberpunk first made its debut as a title for a short story in 1980 by the author Bruce Bethke. The intention behind the name was to indicate advanced technology, cyber, and troublemakers, punk. While the genre got its popularization in the 1980s, similar science fiction work started in the 1960s. Heavy use of intricate technology and artificial intelligence combined with dystopian societies created a new wave of science fiction now considered to be cyberpunk. Some of the most famous examples of cyberpunk that you may be familiar with include Blade Runner, The Matrix, Akira, and Ghost in the Shell. Lots of comics, tabletop games, and video games have also had their own take on cyberpunk. Many are familiar with the game Cyberpunk 2077 and the associated anime, which came from the TTRPG Cyberpunk 2020. The TTRPGs in the Cyberpunk collection is inspired by William Gibson, who wrote Neuromancer, one of the most famous books written from the genre. While so many works have been created in the genre, there is so much left to be explored and more stories to tell. This week's episode is a hard mode, which is any immersive experience with a higher barrier to entry. This can be because of the high cost, high involvement requirements, etc. This experience in particular is high cost, high involvement, and requires a lot of preparation. An event I have teased in other episodes and is the biggest event I work on, Neotropolis. A fully immersive multi-day cyberpunk event hosted in the Mojave Desert. By the creators of Wasteland Weekend comes a half-week-long event in its fourth year that I like to call home. Welcome to planet Kepler 609c, a desert planet with a bustling neon city in the center of it called Neotropolis. The year? 2225. For those in need of a good time at any time of the day or night, Kepler has it all. Want to go dancing? Multiple clubs line the streets. Drinks? Head on over to the Kaiju or the Atomic Cafe. In need of credits to spend at the midnight market? There's always a faction in need of helpful employees like you to do a job for them. You can also find laser tag, burlesque, bands, virtual reality, tea houses, escape rooms, racing, costume contests, and so much more. Everything here is in a world where futuristic attire is required. Just like any good cyberpunk universe, a dystopian law enforcement called the Sentinels roam the streets, ready to throw anyone into the Sentinel jail. It's always good to make friends so they can plan a heist to free you, or be ready to bribe the Sentinels to look the other way. For the ticket price, Neotropolis includes a wide range of activities and entertainment. Staff and volunteers spend weeks building a 2-story mini-city for attendees to explore. Entertainment includes over-the-top shows, concerts, and DJs at the main stage called the Core. Of course, other shows will be happening all weekend in one of the smaller stages. One of the main activities is the live-action roleplay, where you can choose a faction and complete quests to make your faction the best in the city. Your ticket price also includes free alcohol provided in multiple locations, as long as you bring your own cup. On-site medical services by professionals also ensure your safety, along with security and regularly cleaned porta potties. While the experiences, shows, and amenities provided by the event are all incredible, what really makes Neotropolis stand out is its above and beyond creativity provided by attendees like myself. Attendees have the option to apply for a theme zone, which means they volunteer to bring one-of-a-kind experience to have into the city. If your application is approved, you are designated a space, typically a 10x10 block, to give a mini immersive experience to anyone who walks by. Most commonly, people provide quests in exchange for small prizes or even secrets. Here are some examples of the ones I went to. The Nightcrawlers Corporation gave me the opportunity to test out emotions with their private viewing room. Select from a menu of emotions and get onto the waitlist. Once your buzzer goes off, it's time to sit back and relax in a small room to view a mini show geared toward your chosen emotion. I selected Lust, and my 3-minute show was not at all what I expected. Quite literally lots of fruit and vegetable videos if you catch my drift. Pilot's Perch tasked me with taking a glowing core to steal energy from a specific location. This one I highly recommend doing with multiple people because hackers and the Sentinels may try to steal your core's energy. Body blocking or hiding it in other ways is your only chance at success. We brought the glowing core to Gilly's Arcade to siphon energy for the 5 minutes and then rushed back to Pilot's Perch. Unfortunately, one hacker stole some power from us while we weren't looking, but not a complete failure of a mission. For our hard work, we were given a couple options of small rewards to keep. One of my favorite missions was given to us by a Front Laundry, which is a laundromat that is definitely not a front for anything shady at all. Given a bag of laundry and bright orange vest to indicate I was working for a Front Laundry, I was sent out on a scavenger hunt around the city. On the bag were symbols that gave hints as to which shops to talk to, and hidden below the clothes of laundry were items that needed to be snuck to the owners of those shops. Using context clues in the shop helped me decide which item went to which. Just like in the previous mission, avoiding the Sentinels is in your best interest. Otherwise, you'll have to convince them that you merely have a bag of laundry, nothing strange going on at all. Once we delivered all the items and returned to a Front Laundry, I received a themed cocktail, a small toy, and they led me to an even bigger secret. Behind a washing machine facade was a small room filled with plush pillows where cartoons played on a small screen. I was given permission to hide back there anytime I liked to get away from the crowds. By far my favorite stop in the city was Crux Industries, located in the back corner of the Mega Block. 4 robots have escaped their duties and have gone missing. Work still needs to be done, so 4 humanoid workers, including myself, had to fill in. Each of us had to complete little modules as quickly as possible to get a high score. One module wanted you to chart the quickest shipping route, another needed you to fill depleting elements with a proper access code. The other 2 modules were different pattern recognition puzzles. Halfway through, people needed to swap to a new module so you didn't get too comfortable with just one job. Then a secret quest is given by the game runner for bonus points. The over-the-top quality of this escape room-like mission is hard to describe. Everyone who went in had such a good time, and I hope Crux Industries brings it back next year. While patrons are not required to provide an immersive experience, if you guessed that I did, you would be correct. This was my second year working for Proto Express, the shipping company of the future. Only problem is that the employees have a strange obsession with slugs. Most employees for Proto Express are in charge of sending patrons out on quests, so they become interns. These tasks range from finding missing packages to babysitting a slug for a few hours to see the city. If you like to be integrated into our definitely not a cult, you can sit back and get a mental journey complete with mechanical eye, head, and neck massages. Good interns who complete enough tasks can meet HR at the end of the event for a secret meeting. The real showstopper for our booth was our deboning machine, which was a pod that could fit someone inside as long as they were under 5'11". This pod was a prop from the X-Files, and I am a proud owner of 1/8 of it. It was a non-functional prop until my friends Sam, Yuli, Eric, Heather, Lizzie, and Phil, along with myself, transformed it into something one of a kind. With a newly added soft-close lid, lights, fog, a functioning data pad, and a slimy paint job, this was a must-see each evening. I had an absolute blast explaining that this deboning machine accurately determines which bones you don't really need so you can be more loosey-goosey like a slug. We had 2 modes for people to choose from, photo mode and party mode. When not throwing people in the deboning machine by night, I worked as my corporate character by day at Proto Express. I sent people out to do surveys with slightly off-kilter questions such as, why do you see yourself in 5 years? And since the replacement of NDAs for the far more useful memory wipes, how have you felt? This year, I had an unpaid intern who assisted me in a brand new kind of survey. We both had a collection of liminal space images where we asked a series of unsettling questions related to each. I adored how into it people got. Everyone yes-anded and role-played with me, which was definitely an improvement from last year. Those who completed my surveys got temporary tattoos, vinyl iron-ons, and magnets that I designed myself. Another major facet to the Neotropolis experience is Beyblading. You remember the battle tops where you say, "Beyblade, let it rip," released in 1999? Yes, those Beyblades. Introduced by the Aggressive Top Fighting League, or AFTL for short, this has become a central part of the city. Play with friends or strangers, you can rise through the rankings to become the greatest Beyblader like no one ever was. Connected via a phone app, winning and losing does give you points. Those in the top will have their names displayed for all to see. In addition to fighting other patrons, you may challenge elites and win a small badge to collect. Not all elites are easy though. Some have tricks up their sleeves with customized Beyblades and playstyles. If this sounds like Pokemon, you would be right on the nose. Luckily, if you don't have your own Beyblade, the AFTL has ones you can use, so you don't need to catch one in the wild. For those who want special rewards, earning enough badges gets you access to a secret speakeasy, which is not even shown on any map. Behind a guarded wall is the Juice Box, which is a maid cafe where everyone is themed after a different fruit. Each of them have a unique cocktail to serve, and you can battle them as well to increase your collection with little fruit badges. Beyblading with others is the quickest way to meet new people, so I highly recommend doing some research and bringing your own. Another great way to meet new people is bartering with others. Brought over from Wasteland Weekend, bringing themed trinkets, accessories, and other goods to trade with others is how the economy runs in Neotropolis. While most people give stuff away for free, like drinks and small bites, it is polite to tip with a small barter item. Only approved shops in the Mega Mall, a few stalls in the Mega Block, and food trucks are allowed to take actual money. Otherwise, having barter items is the best way to bring home unique wares you can't find anywhere else. Aside from the theming differences, Neotropolis has become completely different from Wasteland Weekend by including live-action roleplay, or missions, as an official part of the event. Build a small team of 2 or more people and head to the command center to receive your free silicone RFID wristband. From here, you sign up your team with one of the 3 official allegiances to begin doing missions for them. The 3 allegiances are Helix Industries, N-Line Solutions, and the Reboot Syndicate. Each has their own set of goals, but completing missions for them will shift the power in Neotropolis for your allegiance. While I won't go into detail about each allegiance, you can read up on them on the Neotropolis website and even take a quiz for which you fit into if you're still unsure. Once you've submitted your group to one of the 3 allegiances, you are locked into it for the rest of the event. While you may still complete missions for the other unofficial factions, take pride in the group you do quests for. The RFID wristband will allow you to do other tasks for your allegiance, shown by small hidden symbols throughout the city. These are interactable items only if you have your wristband on. If you want to explore other allegiances, missions, bring back your wristband another year to join someone new. Please be aware, though, missions are only available from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. each day, with a few secret exceptions. Since LARPing is such a large part of the Neotropolis experience, having a character or characters to roleplay as is highly encouraged. People typically don't introduce themselves with a real-life name. Instead, you choose a name that fits the cyberpunk universe. You may have one character that you dress up as, or you may play multiple characters to fit different genres. Keep in mind that they have to be original characters, no cosplaying as pre-existing characters from media. For example, I have my snooty corporate character that I roleplay in the day for working at Proto Express. Their name is Ego. They run their team like a tight ship and have pristine geometric outfits. My second character's name is Alter Ego. the rebellious partier who comes out at night to drink and go clubbing. Their outfit is UV reactive and bold with a lot of dangly trinkets. My third new character brought this year is Alter, the flirty pop star who has an entourage and talks their way into any space they want. While you don't need to have as many characters as I do, sometimes you'll find it helps differentiate the activities you want to do and meet way more people. I had a lot of people who met my corporate character during the day and gave me gifts to hopefully gain favor with my faction. But ego would never be seen out on a mission. My rebellious character was often in trouble with the law and was always game to pull a heist. The more creative you are with building your character, and the more you roleplay, the better the experience you'll have. What you put into the event is what you'll get in return. Things I liked. Neotropolis is growing every year, and people are far more interested in roleplay and interacting with others on both a pretend and personal level. There is something so silly about having to avoid being arrested by sentinels, but it's also something that sticks with you in the real world. It's a bonding experience for those around you and can lead to real-life friendships. Neotropolis also brings absolutely amazing musicians, DJs, and other performances from around the world. You may find a new favorite artist, like I have. The people are so friendly and welcoming, it doesn't matter if this is your first time or you're a seasoned veteran. People are very willing to educate and include others in shenanigans. While not all activities are going to be for everyone, there is such a wide range of opportunities that there is bound to be something that you'll love. The website and social media is pretty transparent on every facet of the event, so be sure to check it out and make sure enough things are your vibe. If you want to just hang out in a cyberpunk world and hang out with friends, that is a baseline expectation that Neotropolis is sure to meet. Also, the city is filled with nerds and people who are passionate about their craft, characters, and immersive experiences. I feel so confident in being silly and myself without fear of judgment. It's also very queer and inclusive, which is a big plus. If you're looking for an event where you can go all out on props, costumes, and accessories, this is the event for you. The bigger and the better, and it's very encouraged. There are even costume contests for those interested. A lot of people start planning their next year expectations immediately after Neo is over. I can assure you that I've already had multiple meetings on how to improve for next time. Things I didn't like. While the performance schedule and official missions are fairly consistent, anything unofficial is almost impossible to know when they'll be open. It's really up to patrons volunteering to decide when their immersive experiences will be available. It's unfair that they have to work all day and not be able to enjoy everything the city has to offer for themselves. I know personally that I filled in when no one wanted to work. Try not to be upset when things are not available or really cool experiences have long lines. Not only are those people volunteering their time, they also paid the ticket price too. Since this event is in the desert away from civilization, technical difficulties are bound to happen. If it rains or has a lot of wind, parts of the city may be without power for hours. This is why most of the missions I send people out on have no power requirements, but not everyone is as lucky. A large part of the cyberpunk city is the high use of technology, so it's unfortunate when that's not possible. In addition, the weather in general is really rough to manage in April. As many know, weather is extremely unpredictable in Southern California in the spring and even more so in the Mojave Desert. The weather can be in the 90s during the day and freezing temperatures at night. I've survived 60-mile-per-hour winds that have destroyed multiple camps. The unpredictability in the weather is one of the hardest parts about attending the event, especially when you're not sure what garments you'll be able to wear. If you want to stay in the cyberpunk genre, you have to put more effort into having more readily available, which can be very expensive. As for the target age, Neotropolis is strictly an 18 and over event. Since alcohol is freely available, those 21 and over are given a different wristband upon entry. Cyberpunk as a genre has a lot of adult themes, and Neo is no exception. You will inevitably be exposed to graphic iconography such as topless anime characters. Since this is a private event, people may go topless or be wearing very little, especially when it's hot out. Prop weaponry, bounty hunting, and pretend aggression from the Sentinels are common within the city. Sexual content, such as references to hentai and fetishes, are also commonplace. If you're not a fan of crude humor or adult content, Neo may not be the place for you. People are very friendly and understanding though, so you can opt out of things easily by making an X with your arms in front of you. As for accessibility, Neotropolis is another event that is fairly inaccessible due to the location. While many people are able to use mobility devices freely, it's still almost entirely dirt and crowds can make it even more tricky. While a majority of the city is on the ground, the megablock does have a decent number of vendors and spaces that can only be accessed via narrow stairs up. At least the layout tries to prioritize missions and entertainment to be on the base level so everyone can enjoy it. Also, seating is very limited. While some bars and immersive experiences have places to rest, anticipate hours of standing and walking unless you go back to your camp frequently for breaks. Neotropolis is very loud and has a lot of stimulating lights. Music is almost constantly playing at the back of the city, and people are always talking. Bringing earplugs and even sunglasses may be needed. The dust is one of the worst things about walking around, so wearing a mask outdoors may save you from losing your voice. There are also no real restrooms, only porta potties. This is not viable for everyone, so this can limit many. Keep in mind that no animals are allowed with the exception of ADA service dogs. If you have issues with smoke, people are frequently smoking in crowded areas, which is something I personally have to be careful about with my allergies. As for the price, this event is not cheap. Early bird pricing is $359, and that does not include everything that goes into prepping and staying at the event. You still need to consider travel, camping, food, and costuming requirements in addition to just the ticket. I personally consider the price well worth it for an experience you can't get anywhere else. The amount of work put into building a miniature city, the fantastic performances, free alcohol, medical facilities, security, very clean porta potties, LARP, and other freebies make the ticket price worth it. The incredible immersion and people you will meet is worth everything else put into it. Personal recommendations. There are so many things you need to prepare for an event like this. While it is not as intense as an event like Burning Man, it is still very strenuous for a first-time attendee. First, you have to prepare for all types of weather. It can be extremely hot in the day to freezing cold at night. It can also have heavy wind, dust storms, and rain. You have to prepare by bringing extra water, parasols or other shade, sunglasses, sunscreen, thermals, water-repellent shoes and overcoats, umbrellas, head coverage, dust masks, hand warmers, etc. To have a more weather-resistant camp setup, RVs are definitely a plus, but other precautions can be made. A heavy metal-based shade structure and reflective shades will help you keep cool out in the sun. Drill in tent stakes and ratchet strapping tents to the cars or metal structures will help keep things from blowing away. I am personally a self-proclaimed bougie camper, so having camping tables, chairs, a portable sink, a 5-day cooler, a 8,000-watt portable battery, and solar-powered lights makes a huge difference. The two additions this year that made me more comfortable were a couple of homemade swamp coolers that pumped in cool air into the tent, and the other improvement being an electric lap blanket that I could use to have a cozy bedtime without draining too much of my portable battery. Next, the most important thing to keep in mind for your costume is have comfortable footwear. There are plenty of ways to make walking shoes look more futuristic, but never risk comfort for aesthetics. There is so much walking and standing, so you may miss out on more if your feet hurt. Third, having a way to carry around a cup that hooks onto you is super useful. While water is not provided by the event, some people may offer some. Please make sure that your cup has a cover on it though, not only to keep dirt out, but also for safety. While Neo has been very safe from my experience, I personally have had an issue many years ago at Wasteland Weekend. Better to be prepared than sorry, since there are thousands of people in attendance. Also, there is no self-service in Neotropolis. People sometimes drive into town 30 minutes away if they need to send a work email. If it's important, looking into a personal hotspot may be a good idea. For finding your friends, many implement walkie-talkies so you can always be found. Last, please read the website thoroughly. They answer a lot of questions and have a lot of lore about the world. Not only can it make your first time easier, but can make you way more prepared than most. Overall, Neotropolis combines so many things that I love about an immersive experience. While the showrunners provide an amazing city to explore, what I love most of all is the community that we build every year. Until next time, a storm is brewing and your decisions will change its direction. Check out our website, immersivexps.com, to join our free Ko-fi, which will have visuals and additional content of the immersive experiences discussed in each episode. If you are an immersive experience artist or creator, no matter how small, consider contacting us so you can take part on a future podcast. This podcast is recorded and produced by SoCal Podcast Studio in Orange County. Thanks for listening.